Another night of protest with a very specific message. Hundreds of people outside City Hall were calling on council members to defund the police department. WMAR 2 News' Ray Strickland is live downtown Baltimore with the latest.
Eddie, defund police, the message that was painted right on the street here outside of City Hall as hundreds of protesters called on the city to do just that. Tonight, city council members discussed that very issue, proposing millions of dollars of cuts.
And other protesters believe the city should cut the police department's proposed $500+ million budget, reallocating part of that money to fund things like education, jobs, mental health, and more.
So why is it that we can't pour money back into those things? So when we say defund the police, it's not just defund the police and let the money sit there, but it's to reinvest that money back into the communities that need it.
After a full day and much of the night, the Baltimore City Council is sending its 2021 spending cut plan to Mayor Jack Young's desk. It includes $22.4 million in cuts to the Baltimore City Police Department, with a $6.7 million cut to police overtime in 5 different departments, not including patrol, and a cut in funding to the police, marine, and mounted units totaling $1.8 million.
We said time and time again that we are going to have to see the day where we actually get serious about reimagining the city's budget and having our police department's budget be looked at and reduced responsibly over time while we can see an investment in other agencies.
A few years later,
a 17-year-old boy shot in the face on Harwell Avenue near Erdman Avenue in East Baltimore. The boy survived, the shooter on the loose. City residents' voices
gotta be tough on crime.
Still resonating, from shootings, carjackings to stolen vehicles. And the juveniles involved, faces of frustration this week, and their concerned voices.
About nobody come and try to steal my car, you gonna have something for you. I'm 49 years old. I work hard for my little piece of crap. I be damn one of these little kids come and try to steal my cars. I'm gonna give them something they could get stolen. I'm not playing that. People work hard for their cars.
Tonight, Uripsy Morgan.
What is happening is that people are getting more and more fed up.
Spokesperson for the community group Peace on why the frustrated voices and who should be listening, notably city leaders.
This is something that all of us can understand. When you work hard for something, whether it's a vehicle or, a bag of chips, it's your hard-earned time and money. And the fact that any politician would disregard that as simply, quality of life or just an issue that they shouldn't be concerned about, they do that at their own peril.
These kids going around stealing people's cars. How would they like if somebody steal their parents' cars? Y'all won't like it at all.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the George Floydification of America and the fact that we have a shortage of police officers in a lot of these liberal cities across the country. And the reason why is because of the demonization of police due to the Defund the Police movement. Now, the Defund the Police movement was not just about taking money away from police departments and reallocating those resources to woke initiatives, like, for example, trying to make social workers police officers. No, it wasn't just about that, okay? It really was about demonizing police and letting police know that, hey, you're not appreciated, okay? We don't like you. We actually want to abolish the institution of policing because it is racist, okay? And that has led to a mass exodus of police officers in liberal cities like Baltimore. So now Baltimore police is grappling with a dangerous staffing shortage, okay, in which experts are warning that, hey, there's a lot of public danger, okay? There can be public danger because of the fact that they don't have enough police officers. Nobody wants to sign up to do this job.
Dire shortages at the department, but tonight we're getting a much closer look at the real impact those shortages are having here on the streets.
To the shift, anyone willing to work overtime.
In the Southern District on Tuesday, there was a plea for officers to work overtime. Minutes later, it went citywide.
Citywide, overtime available on today's date, trolley shift, Southern District. Anyone interested?
Baltimore's Southern Police District is the city's largest district, 61,000 residents. And on Tuesday afternoon, sources tell us at one point there were 3 police officers on patrol. Just seconds after the plea for officers hit the airwaves, so did pleas for help.
If anyone in Sector 2 can come clear, we have a physical child abuse at Moral Park, and there's a 10-year-old at the location with bruises all over his body. Okay, we also have a common assault. We have a missing person, 2640 Huron Street.
10 minutes after that child abuse call was transmitted, it appears there were still no officers en route.
We still holding that physical child abuse?
Yes, sir. And be advised, we are now holding 10 calls. No priority ones. We still have the physical child abuse and the common assault.
And it's heartbreaking. Imagine if you are a crime victim.
Betsy Smith with the National Police Association calls the city's police staffing dangerously low.
You are endangering the lives of the police officers that are on duty. And what that further does is endanger the lives of the citizens.
There's 522 vacancies.
At a city budget hearing last year, the top brass admitted it struggled with recruitment and is hoping to hire civilians to fill in the gaps.
We're looking at upwards to 120 to 140 positions that we're trying to create in this request to be able to sustain going forward.
The reason that 9 out of every 10 police departments in this country is short-staffed is because we have been dealing with, here in the United States, this 3.5, almost 4-year vilification and demonization of the American law enforcement officer.
Until perceptions change, Smith predicts recruitment will not improve, and the pleas for officers will grow louder.
16 is going to pick up the physical child abuse as it becomes clear of his larceny from oil.
Our sources are telling us tonight that the department is actually postponing training for officers just to keep them on the streets. We're live. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's going to end up well, right? We're going to delay training for officers. So they're so short-staffed that they're like, no, you guys don't even have time to train, right? You can't train because you need to be out on the street. We don't have enough people out on the street. Again, this is a disaster, okay? This city went from defund the police, we hate the police, to, oh, well, please, police, we need more police, okay? But again, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? Some people will point to Baltimore City's police budget and say, well, their budget is still as high as it's ever been. Well, again, defund the police is not just about actually defunding the police anymore, okay? What it's about is the demonization of police, okay? The fact that police are not appreciated in this country anymore, okay? In fact, it is a thankless job in which there are a lot of risks now. After Derek Chauvin, what happened to him, a lot of police officers said, this ain't worth it, right? It is not worth it, okay? Because in the line of duty, me doing my job, if it just so happens that I have to use lethal force, okay, or somebody dies as a result of a drug overdose and they try to blame it on me, the mob tries to blame it on me and say I'm racist and that I caused the person to die, that, yeah, I could end up smeared as a racist, charged with second-degree murder, have a sham trial be levied against me with the woke mob intimidating the jury to the point where I'm found guilty of second-degree murder, be thrown in a prison with 20-plus year sentence, and then possibly stabbed to death by some woke revolutionary gang member BLM activist, right? Which is what happened to Derek Chauvin, right? That's exactly what happened to him. And a lot of people saw that and said, nah, I'm good, right? I don't want to sign up and do this. I'm going to pick another career. Okay. And that's what's happening, right? And what do you guys think is the result of that, right? Do you think that Baltimore is doing better when it comes to crime? No, they're not doing better when it comes to crime. In fact, residents are lashing out over crime and what's happening in the city, despite the fact that, you know, they say by the statistics that homicides are down 20%, but carjacking from 2022 to 2023 are up over 160%. Now, again, Baltimore is trying to advertise themselves as if crime is down. You guys understand, crime is going down. This is what the Democrats are saying. This is what all these little cities are saying. However, that's not how the residents are feeling. In fact, the residents on the ground are feeling that crime is more out of control than it's ever been. And part of the reason why is quite literally because calling the police doesn't really do anything. They barely ever report the crimes that are being reported to them, which could explain why crime is down, even though residents don't feel like crime is down. Take a look.
Baltimore City residents say they don't feel safe in their neighborhoods because of what some call low-level crime. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Mary Bubala. We have team coverage tonight of the quality of life crimes impacting our area. In a few minutes, Mackenzie Frost will have more on what the mayor is doing to address this issue. But first, Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor reports on a resident who says he caught a pair of thieves red-handed stealing packages.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that violent crimes such as homicides and shootings take priority for police as lower level crimes, which affect more people more often, continue to surge. Some residents tell me they are still struggling to feel safe in Baltimore City. In the back patio of Larry Houtz's Baltimore row home, high fences protect his pond, the bird he feeds, and his sense of security.
We built this house like this as a sanctuary for us from the city.
A calmness that leaves him every time he leaves his front door.
Every day I come out to my car and I'm looking, worried that my window's going to be busted out.
For the past 25 years, Larry says living just a few blocks down from the scenic walking trails inside Patterson Park provided a second oasis. But now,
in the last 2 or 3 years, it has just gone downhill immensely.
A rise in property crimes.
Heck, the house right there that with the stucco there was broken into.
Most notably, soaring car thefts and break-ins.
By the Ukrainian church, dozens of cars broken into, windows smashed out.
Shattering his sense of security and trust in Baltimore's police department to protect and serve.
It's out of control.
Over the weekend, Larry witnessing what he says was two men sorting through about a dozen stolen packages along Patterson Avenue.
Holding stuff up, looking at it, putting it in another bag, putting the empty packages in a different bag.
About 20 to 30 minutes after reporting the incident to BPD,
they're still in the alley rifling through stuff. They had a lot of stuff.
Larry claims an officer finally arrived.
He says, "How do you know the packages were stolen?" I said, "Amazon packages?" And I said, "There they go, they're right there."
According to Larry, the officer never approaching the men, despite empty packaging still littering the ground and this photo Larry snapped of the alleged suspects in action.
So this morning, I called Internal Affairs to find out, what's going on here. Internal Affairs told me, unless the police see them steal the item, there's nothing they can do. And I'm like, what?
Other area residents raising similar concerns over the car crime.
I've had friends that have had their cars broken into, and I've heard from people that cops are barely pursuing it.
Many claiming unless a crime was clearly caught on camera, police not responding in person to file a report or investigate.
My friend was definitely pretty frustrated because, he feels like, he's not being protected in this city.
People just feel like they're being ignored and the police department doesn't care.
Former Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson.
And that's a problem, and that flies right in the face of community policing, which of course is what everyone wants.
Saying an inadequate response from BPD, likely the result of inadequate staffing.
Fortunately, right now, the police department, they just simply don't have the resources necessary to commit time and effort to, property crimes, quality of life crimes.
With this city currently more than 500 officers short.
I hear it all the time about this crime being committed and this happening to this person and this happening to that person and nothing happening to the criminals.
Larry among those calling on city leaders to enact change.
They know nothing's going to happen to them.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, so now you can kind of begin to understand the disparity between how people are feeling versus what the so-called statistics are saying. Okay, because it's not just crime where Democrats are saying that, hey, seeing is not believing, right? What you're experiencing is not real. Crime is not up, right? They're also saying that when it comes to the border, or they were saying that when it came to the border until it became undeniable that the border was wide open. It was like, no, you don't understand. There's no illegal immigration crisis, right? The border's closed. The border's secure. They're saying that about the economy. They're saying that about inflation, right? They're saying, no, the economy is great. This economy was greater than it has ever been, right? Greater than any economy that Trump had, right? Even though every day I'm doing a story about mass layoffs, okay? And people are saying that, no, I do not feel like I'm doing better now under Biden than I was under Trump, despite the inflation numbers being somewhat favorable towards Biden lately. People are simply saying that, hey, I don't feel like the economy is great. I don't feel like inflation is down, okay? I don't feel like crime is down. I don't feel like the border is closed, okay? It's almost as if the reality of the world is the exact opposite of what Democrats and the left are saying, right? So again, the explanation for why crime is down in some of these liberal cities is quite honestly not because actual crime is down, is because it's not being reported. And if it is reported, there's so little police in a lot of these liberal cities because of the mass exodus that police are showing up 30, 40 minutes late, and they're just deciding that, it's not really anything I can do about it. They don't even report it, right? So a lot of these crimes are not even being reported, even when the police are being called. Police aren't really doing anything about it, and that's why residents are outraging, talking about how crime is out of control, while Democrats are trying to say that crime is down, right? Again, it's just a pretty amazing story, and I think that's what we're seeing out in Baltimore in response as a result of the Defund the Police movement that has ultimately cost Baltimore and it's honestly cost the country as a whole. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.